Welcome once again to another hour of power. This is the PNGZ Soldiers of Self Mastery. This is a special broadcast. I'm going to be interviewed by Coach Cephas all the way across the world. And I'm inviting
Definitely.
you, if you're a problem gambler, if you're stuck, if you can't quit, if you tried and you haven't been able to do it, I'm inviting you to join us here tonight for this 30 minutes, 45 minutes, broadcast number 339. It's your hour of power, gambler, so that you can get it right. That's what I did. That's what I'm working on. I'm going to keep an eye on your questions if you're coming from Facebook or Twitter, because we're already on YouTube. So get excited. This is a place for healing, a place for growth, a place for what else? Prosperity.
Maximum growth. Thank you, Chief. Of course, and you mentioned earlier the our basic focus, unlike last week, we talk about gambling addiction, we talk about your journey, your shift, and how you move into gambling addiction, and we talk about the you being on the ship, your Navy years and all that. So today, basically, let's talk about loneliness and how will you define loneliness and temptation?
How would I define
Yeah, loneliness.
happiness?
What does it mean to you? Let's talk about your personal experience now.
Loneliness is finding yourself in the casino late at night
Yeah.
with no money, maybe $5, maybe enough to get something to eat or drink because you got to drive for an hour and you're tired and just sitting there and you're just thinking about all the losses. Maybe you had a jackpot that night, but you lost that too. That's lonely. That's beyond lonely. Now, I'm not sure if that is what we want to hear
Yeah,
loneliness is,
sure.
but
Sure,
it's
definitely. And can you also touch on the temptation?
the triggers and the temptations that we all have
Yes, definitely.
can come from
What is it? Where
and
where does it come from?
what's really interesting that the Bible, I was recently reading in the Bible and it says that a man is drawn away. You're drawn, you're taken, you're caught up of yourself, of your own lust. And that's a hard pill to swallow right there, because sometimes we don't realize, we're trying to rationalize all kinds of things in our head, but when you dig deep down inside yourself, you kind of find you find something that's totally different. You find the reality of why you're really doing what you're doing. That's a hard pill to swallow for many people, and it's very difficult, very challenging to get there, to get to the place where you even think about loneliness or temptation. But temptation is all around us in many different ways, in colors, different smells, sizes, different days too, right? You don't have the same temptation every day of the week.
Yep. Have you ever gamble, go out there and stake money, lose money just because you are lonely or because you are feeling lonely?
In actuality, I probably did some gambling because I was lonely.
Yeah. Talk to me more about that.
You're wanting in life, you want challenges, and you just don't want to be like just sitting there, so you get into all of these kinds of things that are going to challenge you. You're looking for a challenge, you want risk taking, you want to feel alive, you don't want to feel dead, and we give in to temptation. Again, we, instead of taking a minute right then and there within ourselves and asking ourselves the right questions, we don't do that, and we end up falling into the trap. The key is, obviously, loneliness will lead you to the wrong. Yeah, if you don't seek the right direction, obviously it's going to lead you to something that you can get close to. And it's weird because you're paying the machine, and the machine gives you money back. The machine is very emotional. It could be the cards, it could be what did we call it, the alley, where you throw the dice, and you feel excitement in one moment, and then you don't feel excitement. You're up and you're down. So you've got all of these things going on uh, that you're seeking, and you can easily fall into the trap of playing with money. Not only that, we all want to make money. I know I do. I want to make money.
Definitely.
And
Sure.
who doesn't want to make it faster? Man, what where else can you go and put in a $20 bill, right? A $20 bill and possibly make $1,000. Man, that is just whew,
Yeah,
you know.
that's phenomenal.
But
Mhm.
but you're not going to win that fast. You may, but generally you'll lose faster. So instead of 1,000, you've lost 1,000.
Does this have anything to do with your environment? The people say you can be around a lot of people and still be lonely.
Alone in the crowd, I think we're all going to feel alone to a certain degree in this world, even when we are around people that we're close to, people that we trust, people that we feel warm with. There's a good feeling.
Mm.
There's still going to be a loneliness factor. And I believe one of the reasons we go out and fill that emptiness, I personally think we should be seeking God. Everybody on the planet should be seeking God for direction and for sustenance, but we're not. So we seek all these garbage. We feed on garbage. Our minds are taken over, and we become hypnotized. From the moment you get up out of bed, you're hypnotizing yourself.
Having been someone who has actually had a different experience from doing business, I mean, well, behind the scene, we've had some kind of investment with some folks, and how do you deal with getting hurt by people? How do you survive that? And how do you get yourself back to this mode where you can actually just move forward?
I think the key is to learn to take time, right? To stop, just to stop and take a minute here or a minute there or 2 minutes. We talk about a book we wrote, 15-minute mornings. In fact, the challenge, it's not a problem. It's a challenge that why aren't you more determined, right? Why are you not more determined to take a minute or two before you go off in some direction? Why don't you stop for just 1 minute? 1 minute is not a whole bunch of time.
Mm.
Yet we lack that discipline in many areas, and then the ability to just sit down and just ask yourself a question. Well, I don't know how to ask myself questions. It's a practice. It is a
Okay.
practice.
So
And
how is the practice? Talk to me about it. What's the process?
you can use a journal. You can have a partner, a friend, somebody that you trust. You're going through series of asking questions until you begin to find questions that actually catch your attention. So, or you could be talking to somebody else. Coaches are good at helping you come up with questions because they get you to look at yourself. Oh, I'm going to stay away from coach because he's going to get me to look at myself. Well, that's the truth. A good coach will get you to look at yourself deep inside. A good coach will do that. A good coach will also guide you to develop. Asking yourself questions. I mean, there's many things that you can do, but I've chosen tonight to really talk about just taking the time to stop and ask yourself a question. Really, that's it. Stop. If you
Okay.
got a notepad, you have a pen, keep it in your vehicle, you keep it on your person. And that's the key. Get into the habit, because if you don't, it's just going to be like that every single day. You're going to negotiate with people, you're going to negotiate online, and you're going to negotiate with yourself. If you don't know how to negotiate with yourself, think about that. If you don't know how to negotiate with yourself, what leads you to believe that you can negotiate with other people?
Mm.
Or the gamble, right? Well, I'm on top. I don't lose that much money. I win all the time. And well, that's what you're telling yourself.
That's deep. Okay, I want you to look into your maybe past experience, and this is going to kind of be like you plotting a story. So I want this. You don't have to mention the person, obviously. But I want you to talk to me about a time, a real story where someone did betray you, and how you overcome that. I just want you to kind of plot this storyline. Can you just pick one experience? It
Well,
could be anything. It could be someone lying to you, or whatever. It pains. It
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you meet people that you know along the journey. You meet
Mhm.
friends and business people. You're kind of, now that you're not gambling, you're always kind of looking for ways. You still have that mentality. Well, I trusted some friends that I've known for a couple years,
Mm.
and we had been in some business together. I didn't know them that well. I thought I knew them well, but I guess I didn't. So we connected once again recently. And I'll tell you, I'll never do this again. I will never do this again ever, because it's happened to
Mm.
me more than once. And but not with direct friends per se. So I trusted these individuals, and I bought into a crowdfunding platform, and it lasted maybe 3 months. And I'd put in a little bit of money. It was over $2,000, but
Yeah.
that's not
Over
even. I
that.
was
That.
trying to communicate, and it got out of line. The whole thing got out of line. Um, some things transpired. Group of people left. We were left kind of spellbound and dumbfounded. So I started asking questions. Next, the Facebook group gets shut down. Next, all of these so-called leaders are gone. The whole thing is
Mm.
shut down. The money's gone. Your wallet, your crypto, all of it's gone. I was really angry that night a couple weeks ago when I began to see that man, something's seriously wrong here. I don't like the vibe that I'm getting, and I made an effort. Um, so, again, to me, that was like a gamble, even
Yeah.
trusting people. But
I was gonna say that it was like a gamble. Okay. Yeah.
yeah, eventually,
Right.
I had to talk to myself.
Yeah.
I had to come and ask myself some questions. I had to get on my journal, and I had to journal some of that out along with lots of prayer. And I've let it go. Never again will I embark on a journey like that with, no, I've learned my lesson. So again, I didn't go to the casino. I was angry. I didn't, I didn't jump back into gambling and try to win my losses or anything like that. I I accepted my responsibility in the whole thing, and I said I will never again do that again. This is it. And it's happened to me once or twice. Again, when you're in recovery, your mind is still soft.
Mm.
When you're in recovery, your mind is still soft. You have to protect yourself. You have to protect your person, because you can easily fall into traps, even with people. And then you could end up falling right back into the casino, because you're going to say, what the heck, man? You know what? Every place I turn, it's like everybody's burning me. So I might as well just give it all away. Go back to the
Wow.
cards.
Wow.
Go back to the craps. Go back to betting on roosters, or the thing now is forever spins in Jollyland or whatever, Neverland online, the casinos.
Yeah.
People know about the spins. You supposedly make a lot of money with spins.
So, do you think forgiveness play any role in you getting back on track quickly and then just moving on from that experience?
Self-forgiveness. Yeah.
Okay.
Instead of, like I say, instead of beating yourself down, you beat yourself up. You
So
use
I'm
words to do that.
mm, the mouth, the word.
Positive
Okay.
thing.
Okay, so basically, most people every day, it just kind of feel like they are living alone, and maybe they don't have someone to talk to, or to hang out with, to hang on to, something to hang on to. And now that's why I'm going to throw this question to you. So imagine yourself, being on an island. For example, you've got a room, you are there alone. How and probably you have no one to talk to, probably you have no one to relate with, you are just alone on this island. What will you do daily? Probably you have all the resources you have, you could read book, what will you do to survive, to not feel lonely, to not feel bored, and to not do something, what will you do to keep your mental health, to prioritize your mental health?
Number one, I would definitely find something to write. I would be
Okay.
writing.
And if you are going to be writing, that's going to be
I
what?
would write about what I'm going through or what I want to see. Either what I'm
Mm,
going through or
mm,
what I want to see. Those probably would be the only two things I would write about. Or I might write about something else. If you're on an island, you might discover something. You write it down.
so
Maybe
so
it's
it comes like this moment where you actually acknowledge, okay, this is exactly what you're going through, and then you want to write about the outcome, the kind of outcome you want. Okay, so
yeah, because if you're alone, again, you want an outlet.
yeah.
And there's, for me, it would probably be journaling. I would definitely be writing, using my time up to write a lot. Seek new things. Again, you're always looking for challenge. You're wanting to overcome and learn and become creative. So when you're by yourself, you can become really creative, especially if you're in survival mode.
Mm,
You can become that's, again, it goes right back to the gambler. Like the gambler may be in survival mode, right? He's alone. He feels alone. He becomes
yeah.
very crafty. He comes up with different ideas to get money and stuff like that, because your job is not really, you're working, but you ain't getting no paycheck because your paycheck's gone.
Mm,
So, you get crafty, man. However, family, you got friends, you got online things, sharks, money, loans that you can start doing, and you go into the dark side, right? You slip into the dark side because that's what happens. That's where the money is. That you get the money, you become dark, and then you go into the casino. Anyways, there's no casinos on an island. So again, it's the fact of being occupied, keeping your mind occupied, because if you don't keep your mind occupied, your emotions will kick in, and your emotions will run you to the ground. Your own emotions, if you don't understand, what's going on, you your own emotions will run you down into the ground there on that island by yourself, or cause you to do some. So you have to be aware. It's like you got to know yourself. You have to really work on knowing, becoming familiar with, yourself. Who am I? You ever ask yourself that question early in the morning? Man, who am I? Look in the mirror. Who am I? Who are you? Uh-oh. I don't know what happened. He may end up coming back. Let me look at the comments here. Bill, welcome. And I think he's kind of Jesse, the dark side of gambling. If you've been through it, you know. Oh, yeah. By the way, shout out to Twitter, shout out to Facebook, shout out to YouTube. I'm looking forward. We may be doing more of these programs if people really want support. Listen, those of you that are watching this broadcast, if you truly can't break free, if you're here and you're watching, you're listening to the sound of my voice, it's about mind over subject, right? Mind. If you can get that little concept there, if you can get that, you'll begin to change because you'll do things differently. Mind over subject. That's what I've done, right? Mind over matter. I've been able to, I put in the work, right? Like people say, man, you got to put in the work, right? You got to put in the work. Is something going to pay off big? You may be putting in the work in the casino, man. You even put in the work in. Man, it's gonna pay. It's gonna pay. It's gonna pay, man. I'm gonna hit that machine ain't hit you yet. I don't know how long you've been doing it. If it ain't hit you yet, then it probably isn't gonna hit. If it does, it's not gonna be enough. It's not gonna be overwhelming. When you add up all your losses over the years and over the days, that can calculate to be a pretty substantial amount. And then you get a winning. That's like throwing a little bone, right? The casino throws you a bone, a little beef bone, a chicken bone, a little tiny bone, right? Bing, there you go, and you grab it. And little did you know that causes you to fall deeper, deeper, deeper into the trap. All right, let me see who's in here with me. YouTuber in the making. Thank you for hanging out. Um, is it? Let me see what somebody. Thank you. I will say this. Keep wanting to do this, and at the end of the day, thank you for that donation, Bill. I appreciate that donation, Bill. I really do. Supporting this mission as I work on supporting all of you guys out there, man. This is an exciting time that we're living in, but it is a very challenging time. It is. It's difficult for the gamblers out there. It's very difficult right now, and I don't think it's going to get better. That's what causes me to fear and really say, Santos, what can I do? I can come on a couple more days a week, possibly, if I get people, to help me feed on good energy. If we feed on good energy and we win together, because my goal ultimately, I don't care to go back to gambling, but I do get tempted. I'm not going to say that I don't. Of course I do. I get tempted. All right, Coach Cephas is back on stage.
Now, the question I was going to ask you, especially now you talk about you know what you will probably do when you find yourself maybe in an isolation, or you are kind of on an island or something. Now, let's talk about the temptation part a bit. There are some moments where we felt like we have a rush of money coming in, and this moment, somehow because we have this money at the free, maybe we just think the money is free. Maybe we really never think of what we can do with the money, or where the money can go, where we can invest the money. So this money is in, and all of a sudden we start getting a lot of ideas about where this money should go. And perhaps we just feel like, okay, maybe if I lose 100, 200, it does happen. Maybe if I lose $50, it's not going to be a big deal. Let me go try. That to me looks like temptation. Do you ever experience anything like that? And how are you going to deal with something like that?
Well, the problem is that we decide to do something, right? You decide to
Mm,
do something. You decide to do something, and when it comes to money, you fall into a trap because
mm,
you don't understand your emotion. Sometimes we think, well, we were in the casino because we were tempted because we got in whatever. But what about, greed? We all
mm.
have greed in us. And sometimes greed doesn't show up like that. It doesn't show, oh man, I'm a greedy person. I'm going to go to the casino. I'm going to win a lot of money. But yet deep down inside, that could really be going on. Your emotion of greed is getting the best of you. And because you didn't stop to think, that temptation.
So it all come down to stopping to think,
Yep.
properly about
Taking,
the temptation.
yeah. Really that's it. It really comes down to just stopping. And it's like, you have an accident on the road. You know what we do when we have an accident? We get out of the car and we're doing this, the neck, and we're thinking about money. No, is anybody thinking about anybody else? Hey, are you okay?
Mm.
Ma'am, are you all right? The car's demolished. We go look at the paint job and the tire, and instead we should be looking concerned about the person. I guess I'm saying that because we should be concerned about the person, right? Your emotions. It's the same thing when you have an accident. You hear, we've heard it so much. We've been programmed by these attorneys online. Don't call them, call us. We'll get you $1 million for that. That's all we hear when we get in an accident, I think.
Mm.
And instead of being emotional and stopping to think, right, to stop, man, I just had an accident. Okay, if you can wake up, right? Hopefully, if you're not in shock. But sometimes I've been in accidents where I got out of the car. I totaled the car and I walked out of it. Totaled the vehicle and I walked out of it.
Mm.
And I remember looking at the guy in front of me in a station wagon. He got out of the car and he was doing this. I saw him get out of the car, literally, and he was twisting his neck. Like he wanted everybody to see my neck's messed up. I'm going to make money from the insurance or whatever. I wasn't even thinking like that back then at all. So we bypass our emotions, and that's why we get ourselves in trouble. So again, the moment you stop, the moment that you begin to write down and you question, okay, why am I doing this? Why am I feeling this way? What is going on?
And how do we control our mind from all this chaos, all these things? How do you control your mind? It all comes down to, I feel like if we can learn how to control our mind, being in control every time. So I just feel like sometimes we lose it to the temptation, to the feelings, and so how do we really control our mind? Yeah, how do we make up our mind and make sure that, because you have a lot of people that's made up their mind that I'm not going to, it's over now, I'm not going to gamble again, whether because as a result of they feel some kind of pain, or they kind of feel, maybe they are just caved in, but as soon as they start getting more comfortable, yeah, they slip into the habit. The habit comes in, and we've all have that one way or the other. Might not be gambling addiction alone. Some people might be addicted to coffee, drug, whatever it is. Okay, so how do we control our mind to be able to say, okay, this is it, this, I'm making that decision, and I'm not going back?
Got to put in the work. This platform right here, this environment that we create on Wednesdays and Sundays is an excellent environment for someone that wants to learn how to control their mind. You can begin moving in that direction to be able to discipline your life. Because we're like two people. We're like two people. I'm like two people sometimes. Yeah, sometimes my other wants to do things that I don't really want to do, and I find myself doing things sometimes that I probably shouldn't do. That I know eventually there's going to be change there, and that's what we're dealing with. So this is a perfect environment. There's many tools that we have available. There's other environments. This isn't the only one. I'm just biased because I happen to believe that this is one of the best ones, because I'm a real person and I believe that you're real on the other side.
Definitely.
So if we're real, the energy that flows from us. And if somebody's not real, if somebody's crooked and they come into this environment, they're not going to feel comfortable here. They're not, anybody that is wanting to get more out of life, you want to overcome your gambling addictions because you can't. This is a great place. Why? I've done it. I'm a living example that you can break free from gambling. I'm a living example that you can dominate the desire if you want to. I'm a living example. So I'm here right in front of you, live in the flesh. Maybe someday I'll come to your city on stage. Maybe.
Okay.
But this is a good environment right here. It takes work. It takes work.
But this mind controlling, like is it really doable, or is it just a myth? Is it doable? Do you think it's really doable? Because a lot of people got to some stage. I think they stop believing that they can do this. Maybe they no longer even believe in talk, motivational talk, just encouragement. They just feel like talk is easy, talk is cheap, like everybody will say. But I felt like if someone is going to change their life around, it's still going to be from word. Like you said, the word is important. Is that someone is just going to say something to you, you will take action, it's going to make sense, and you will take action on it, and boom, you experience the change. But I feel like the word is going to always be part of us. So do you think it's doable to control our mind, to get ourselves out of that state and really stand on our decision? Or is it just a myth? Is it just talk? What do you think about it?
It's, well, we can look around us and see the examples that it's real. It's just not real to some people yet. And for some people, it's not going to become real. It's not. There's going to be people that are not going to overcome gambling. They're going to stay, and they're going to, I'm going to be honest here, folks. There's people that are going to die in gambling. There's women. In fact, even tonight, I'm sure somewhere around the world, a man or a woman has taken their own life because they can't cope. They don't know their emotions. They don't know themselves. They don't know that they could take a minute out of their time and get a piece of paper, a napkin. I don't care, a leaf. I've written on leaves before. A green leaf. You can't write on a brown leaf, but you can write on a green leaf with lightly. So whatever it takes to get you to that state. And again, we need these places like this. We need environments that like lighthouses, right? Like a light, so that people can see, wow, there's something over there. There's a light. I see a light. And that's my hope, that maybe we can continue expanding, knowing who you are, and getting to a place, a community where you feel comfortable. Because you got to break out of that. Somewhere along the line, you're going to have to trust somebody. You're going to have to go somewhere if where you're at and who you're with now is not getting you there.
Would you say it's a good idea to be willing to start all over again? Because I feel like a lot of people just got so deep into some certain thing, it's so difficult to get out. Even when you know the truth, you definitely know the truth that this is not helping, this environment is not helping, but you don't want to get out because you felt like, man, I've been this for a long time, so. And we're getting ready to start taking all the questions, obviously, but do you feel like, how is it cool to start all over again, to just say, I'll put everything aside, I'll start afresh, clean energy, I'll start like I'm starting with nothing? What's your take on that?
You have to be emotionally strong to be able to turn your back on a lot of
Yeah,
things and say,
yeah,
I'm going forward.
yeah. I
You
think
can't
I
just
had.
do that with your mind. You have to build up emotional strength, and most people lack it. So again, going into places, creating environments. You can create an environment in your car. You can, right? You can make a decision. Like a problem gambler comes across my YouTube channel and he can say, well, I'm going to make a decision that I'm going to watch. I'm going to watch one video. I'm not going to watch 20 videos. I'm going to watch one video 20 times. So it's better to watch one video than 20 videos. Right? You spoke about, I believe you were speaking about specifics earlier.
Yeah, yeah. Some people just feel like it's too late. Maybe it's too late to start. Maybe it's like, what can I possibly start doing again at this age? And let's be real with it. We get this pressure. We get so, and I think that's a moment where people begins to fall into depression, because when there is no strength to even you're hoping on something, but you feel like the whole world is cloud on you. You really know you are really trying to push out of this box, to push out of this thoughts that is clouding you, but you feel like there's no time. There's no time. Maybe I'm a dude at 50, 60 years old, and probably maybe I don't have some education and I want to go back to the college. For me, I'm like, dude, I'm 60 years old. So what's the purpose? Where is the gain here? Where is the profit of going back to the college,
Right.
getting that education and just doing what I have to do? That's, of course, yeah, it doesn't have to be same for everybody. So how do I find that strength, to make decision that's important?
To
I want you to put it this way, and
straight and
and I
narrow
think,
is the way.
yeah, I think this is going to be the last question. Think about a moment. Talk to me about a moment where you are scared to do something. You are weak in making decision to do something. Maybe to make a decision to break out of something, but you finally make that decision. Talk to me about just a moment. Can you tell me about one of your experience and tell me how do you feel? Taking that decision, taking that step. Yeah.
Well, I remember when I said to myself, I think I'm going to go on YouTube and start creating videos and share some of my experiences. And I had to deal with myself. I've never done anything. I was scared. I knew that I could be ridiculed. I knew that I could be laughed at. I knew that I could be bullied. I knew that all of these things I know were there. And I've gone through a lot of this.
Mm-hmm.
I've learned, right? I'm on the other side. I made a
Yeah,
decision. It wasn't an easy decision, but I said, you know what? If I'm going to make a change in my life, I got to get out. I got to do something, one thing differently than what I've been doing. And that was to get out on YouTube and get in front of more people. I
okay.
felt alone. I figured I wouldn't be so alone if I got in front of more people and I connected with a few good people that we could support this mission. Uh, I think that was one of my major, and just to come out and say, hey, you know what? I broke down in 2014. I'm working on myself. I struggled a little bit, but this is what I've done. And here I am.
Okay.
I used to fear, well, I'm going to run out of words. We're going to run out of things to do. And what's going to happen? I don't even know how I got free myself sometimes. I still got to question everything because you think you know what you're doing, journaling and all these things, but there's more. There's something else that maybe I did, right? So,
That's great. So let's take one of the few questions, then I'll do a recap on the what you've recommend so far about dealing with loneliness and temptation, of course, as to gambling addiction. Let's move forward.
okay. Let me see. I know Jim's always got good questions, but I can only look at one at a time. So let me see if a question pops up right now. I'll answer it immediately. But I'm looking. All YouTuber in the making. Okay, I am really trying to quit gambling, sir, but it is a thought battle. Yes. You know what? I'm glad you're here. I hope you're still here. What brought you here? I'm not sure, but man, you're at the right place at the right time. Because
Yeah.
again, when if you want something, go to the experts, right? If you want a Honda, don't take your car to the Ford. You can. They might end up scratching your steering wheel like they did to me. But if you got a Honda, go to the Honda. It's probably going to be a better deal. Yeah, it might be a little bit more expensive, but it's Honda. Honda connects with Honda. Does that make sense? So you want to connect with me, YouTuber, you're connecting with the right person right now, man. I hope that you can get some of this energy because I believe in miracles. I do. I believe that people can get energy from other people at the right place
Mm,
at the right time. But if you're
that's
not present, this is the key, right? If you're not present, again, when we're talking about temptation and all of these things that happen, if you don't take the time to sit there and stop, you're not
stop.
present, you really don't know yourself.
Mm,
That's major. When you don't know yourself, when you don't know who you are, you've got machines, you've got the matrix out there working on you, kind of like a praying mantis. You ever see a praying mantis eating? It's really
mm,
interesting. They just grab it real quick and they just chomp.
yeah.
They eat from the inside, right? And they're holding it, and you see and it's going, and it takes a little while, but eventually it's destroyed. And that's
Mm,
what these things are doing to your mind. Like you're in a praying mantis, and the praying mantis is eating. It's eating away, changing you how to talk. I can't do this anymore. I don't know how to do this anymore. This is what happens. It changes you. Well, man, I tried and I can't. I just don't know what to do anymore. Wait a minute. Santos can help me. Hey, I'm at the PNGZ zone. Hey, there's a broadcast on Wednesdays. Hey, I remember there's a video. I should watch that video 20 times or watch it 30
mm,
times. So again, we can do more for you. We've got tools, we've got support. You can send us right below there. You can send us a message right there. You can even get a strategy session with me, right? Would you like a strategy session with me? Would it be worth your time to sit with me on a one-on-one personal? I can help you discover, at least get started. May not be able to help you discover yourself in 45 minutes, but what if I could get you started, right? Like pull you got those the lawnmower. I
mm.
couldn't pull the lawnmower the other day. I tried and tried, but it's nice.
Yeah, and
Boom,
and
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 the lawnmower starts up and you go. So,
And one cool thing is with the new membership session that we just set up for the YouTube channel, I think by next week Wednesday or probably Sunday we should have the membership activated, so people will be able to join the membership on YouTube on your channel. And if they decide to join the gold plan, they have access to one free private coaching session with you, every month. So if they are on the goat plan, they are going to get one free strategy session to talk to you about everything. To It's going to be like a recap. What do you do this month? What have you done to what do you implement? What are your struggles? Where are you lacking? And then you both you guys can do a brainstorming session, and then see how they can move forward, so they can move into this brighter month. uh, 2024 got to be everybody best year ever. so
And
so
I can
that's
make
the
it
goal.
super easy for some of you gamblers that can't quit. I can
Yeah.
make it easy
So
because here I'll show you how easy coaching could be for us,
yeah.
right?
So
When we
so
sit together and sit down, I'm just going to ask you one quick question. What have you tried? See, you already know, you already have the knowledge. So all I got to do is just kind of help you patch a few things up. That's it.
exactly,
That's it.
and get you
You
get
already
you
know.
on the right direction. Get you on the right
Yeah. Here.
direction. I love coaching a lot because it's like a therapy, and it helps you feel like you have someone there, especially if you are feeling lonely, if you are feeling like it's all about, like Coach Santos said, it's all about having the right person to talk to, the right person to share that energy with you. And then you keep doing this, you find out that you've gone days, without falling into the habit, and then before you know, you are free. So okay, so let's go to the next one.
Um, do you think dealing with physical feelings, anxiety, weaknesses, stress is just as important as dealing with thoughts? Both. There has to be a balance, Jim. Sometimes we work on the brain too much and we forget about you know, the core.
Mm,
Uh, that's so we need to find a balance, and everybody's different. So my balance is not going to be your balance. You can see my balance, right? You might be able to get some information, but you're not. Oh, I got it. I got no. We're all different. We're not like grapes, right? We didn't come in bunches or bananas. We're not all bananas. Maybe we are bananas, but we're not from the same bunch.
yeah.
So dealing with anxiety, and again, the journal, meditation, sitting down quietly, Jim, 5 and 10 minutes, just sitting down quietly, just
Mm,
no journal, nothing, just quiet,
mm,
quiet, black, whatever. And that's another good one there. It gives your brain a chance to recharge, just
mm,
stop thinking about everything for a moment if possible. Uh, I don't know if that's like the computer when you unplug it, right? You unplug it and it resets. And I don't know, maybe that's psychological little life hacks that you can work on yourself, just little things that you can do with yourself that you find, and you kind of do something with yourself and you get a benefit out of it. And then you say, well, I wonder if anybody else knows about this, or what if I shared it with people? Some people don't care. They don't care but
mhm.
maybe one person might, hey, that's interesting that you did that. You got in front of the mirror and you talked to yourself for 10 minutes or whatever. Uh, so there has to be a balance.
Okay. So also, I think you need to take a question from Divine. Someone Divine. You have
Bill,
to check
yeah,
that out.
he had a
You check
question
it.
in here, and I think let me
Yeah.
see. So,
Mm.
YouTuber, hang out with us, man. You're at the right place at the right time. Let me
It,
see.
it's it's really a thought battle, but like I said, I asked Coach Santos. He said it's not a meet. It's a battle that can be won. Hopefully by the right way. Okay. So I
Yeah.
want to keep doing this, but at
So,
the end of the day, nothing accomplished.
yeah, that's all the questions. It's been last week. We had a pretty good group here, and
Yeah.
we're going to work on. I want to give more, and I
Yeah.
know for me to give more, it takes more also, even
Yeah. Yeah.
financially. So we're asking, hey, if you're not subscribed to this channel, subscribe, please, and turn your notifications to all, and make sure that you share a video or watch a video, leave a comment, a thumbs up. Please, we ask you to do this not just for us, but for you and for the
Yeah.
others that are out there.
And one takeaway today is, I think, where you mentioned, Chief, that you making that decision that you were going to start creating video, because it wasn't easy at first, but I figure out that you kind of put yourself, you commit yourself into a situation whereby you feel like if you should go back to the casino right now for any reason, you didn't just let yourself down, you let a whole lot of, how many thousands of people that
Yeah.
listened to you down. So I think the reality here, and if you are there right now, you are probably thinking like, okay, how do I quit this habit? How do I let go? Commit yourself, into, put yourself in that space where you can't just let yourself down, like Coach Santos did, or find a therapy, switch, connect to someone, or just go make some kind of big vow, like, I'm giving up this habit and I'm not going back to it. I've seen people publicly come out say they're not going to do something but end up doing it. But again, that shouldn't be it for you. So if you can be like Coach Santos and you commit yourself to something, and when you commit yourself to that thing, you actually make sure that you follow through. Like you follow through. You can't let yourself down, and make sure that people are aware of this, because right now, if Coach Santos should go to the casino to gamble, it's not just going to let himself down, is going to be letting a lot of people down. So I think it makes sense. I think that's the reality. When you are lonely, when you are feeling triggers and temptation, commit yourself to something bigger. Go watch a video and then maybe write a comment and say, I just have a thought to gamble, keep me track on this or something. Just go drop a comment on the YouTube, on the Soldier of Self Mastery YouTube channel, or just do something, do something positive, shift that energy, and I think you'll be
Exactly.
fine. Yeah,
Exactly. One
yeah,
thing, one shift,
yeah,
and we're here. We're here so to support you on the other side,
yeah.
so we
I
can
think.
all learn. Barry, hey, what's happening? We're having an interview Wednesday. That's what we're doing. Interview Wednesdays, and then we're having the podcast on Sundays. Kind of interactive, also a little bit here. Yeah, we're
Yep.
just doing our best to give a little bit more, creating changes for us to go forward, grow. And even though sometimes it's a little boring, because
Yeah,
unfortunately, repetition is the mother of all teachers too, or at least one of them.
yeah,
Repetition, doing the same thing over and until you get it, right? You get
yeah.
it. You get it.
Definitely, definitely.
You break free from gambling. You're gone. Bye bye. That's all in the past now, kind of
Yeah,
stuff. We've come to the end of the broadcast. All right. Well, folks, we're going to be back here once again. Lord willing, Sunday we are live. That's going to be podcast number, I believe this was 339, wasn't it?
yeah,
340
yeah,
coming up. 340 on Sunday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We will be here, and you're welcome to come on the camera on Sunday if you want to shoot
yeah,
some questions, but be sure to check out the link below. And I want to thank a special shout out there for Bill contributing small support, which is a big support. It's good.
yeah.
And Jesse, Jim, YouTuber in the making. Who else was here? Who else? Bill, Jesse. Yeah, the rest of the folks that were on here.
Even Barry. Yeah.
Yeah, and Barry. So thank you guys. Appreciate all you guys, and we'll see you on Sunday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Stay strong and live in the PNGZ, permanent
Right.
gambling zone mindset. All right, Coach Cephas, we'll see you on the next one.
Yeah, sure.
All right.